Hey, Beachbody champions. Oh, my word. Excuse the tardiness. We had some amazing tech issues, of course, right into this. So we just were nimble and we adjusted. And so now I am talking to you guys from my phone, and Carolyn is going to be joining us. Let's bring them on the camera. Let's see if we got her on live, if you can hear us. Carolyn, are you on with us?
Hey, it's making me.
Hey, there you are. It worked. And you're upside down. So this is going to be funny, guys. This is absolutely my first time I've ever done a live video with two people on and not via Zoom. So, hey, this is the way it goes. When you have something planned and it doesn't work your way, you have to be a little bit nimble. You have to be willing to adjust. So here we are adjusting ourselves and getting into what it takes. Hey, champions, I'm Keyshawn Graves. I am a senior manager on the coach development team. Just so you guys know, the coach development team is a group of business mentors that you all can use as an additional resource, as an additional tool to brainstorm and strategize the actions necessary to reach your goals. Our mentors work with coaches all over the United States, all over the United Kingdom, as well as Canada, Puerto Rico. If you're a diamond coach or above, you'll want to be sure you check out 7581, FAQ 7581. Use us, y'all. We're here to help. Welcome to What It Takes. I hope that you all had an amazing, informative summit experience. For me, one of the coolest parts was seeing all of the elite and premier teams that were represented by the leaders. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you asked yourself, well, what does it take to lead an elite or premier team? Well, this is what it takes. This is our weekly mini series where we ask the same exact questions to elite coaches, and they tell us what it takes to lead an elite team. Today, we have the honor of talking to star diamond coach in her first business center. She has a secondary business center at the Diamond rank. She's a Success Club 10 All-Star legend, newly married, and the founder of Team Sweat Your Heart Out. Please help me welcome to the call Carolyn Marrone-Bronkowski. Carolyn, are you still? Did I lose you, Carolyn?
Sean. We good? You're frozen. Can't hear you.
Series, What It Takes. How were you introduced to Beachbody?
Hey, I finally got my sound back, so I couldn't hear any of that, but I'm guessing it was how to get started?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Sorry for all this craziness here, but I guess this is what you adjust your sails and you figure it out. But I actually got started as a coach, not for the coaching opportunity. I started because I needed to work on myself. I had just graduated from college and I was like 15, 20 pounds overweight and didn't recognize who I was anymore. And I just needed something to do for me to get back on track with my health and fitness. This kind of just fell into my lap. I wasn't in a challenge group. Surprisingly, I did the 21-day fix. I got my own results and I was on the infomercial, which is kind of a fun fact. But I felt amazing after I finished that program, and I actually ended up canceling my Shakeology though the second month because I was in college and I was like, oh, I can't afford this, like I can't continue. And then I found out about coaching and I found out that I could get a discount. So I was like, sure, sign me up. I'll do it for the discount. And I had no idea what this was going to do for my life when I decided to do it. And, I feel like everyone has that day that they signed up as a coach, but everyone has that day where they decided to actually go for it as a coach. And for some people, it's the same day, and that's awesome. But for some people, it's not. And I'm not one of those people where it was the same day. I honestly didn't come into this deciding to do something like this. And I took a chance and I took a gamble. And it was honestly the best thing that I could have done for myself. So here I am. You know, I knew about the programs. I didn't really know it was like this big company or this awesome opportunity. I was just doing the programs for like preseason for field hockey and lacrosse when I was in high school, or I was doing the workouts when I was in college to kind of escape from all of the negativity and the roommate drama that I had. It was my way to kind of, you know, do something positive and find myself through fitness. And it's just been really awesome seeing what that one little decision can do. 4 years later, here we are.
Wow, 4 years later. So high school student transitioning into college life, saw the discount. So you mentioned that when you signed up, but then there was a secondary day for when you really started going. Well, once you signed up, can you describe what those early days look like? And let's talk about the day that you decided to go.
Yeah, well, my early days, like I said, it wasn't something that I planned on doing. I was just getting out of college. I was starting my first actual real job as a teacher, and I was in a kindergarten classroom, and I unfortunately found very quickly, like within that first half of the year, that it wasn't something I wanted to do the rest of my life. But the beginning stage of coaching is kind of embarrassing to say this, but I was almost coaching, but like didn't want to admit that I was doing it. Like I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm one of those people. I just kind of felt weird about it at first because I had just gone to school. I had just gotten a degree that I spent 4 years of my life going to school for. I was back in grad school for my master's degree, and I felt like although it was fun and it was exciting, it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing because I went to school for this degree and that's what I should be doing. But luckily, you know, through doing personal development and just kind of like going to live events and seeing all of this awesome stuff that can happen in your life when you actually go for something, and just really like listening to those around me, giving me that belief that I could do this, I saw that this was more than, you know, maybe you went to school for something, but maybe that thing you went to school for, you didn't have to do it in a traditional way. And coaching has allowed me to use my education degree in a way that is non-traditional. I'm just kind of repurposing my skills. It wasn't time wasted. It wasn't like I spent 4 years in college for nothing. All of the things I learned in college and all of the terrible, awful experiences I've gone through in college are what I built my business upon, which is kind of cool to say all that shit that I went through, sorry, I curse, has become my solution, you know? And it's funny to see those people that were putting you down years ago and making you feel like crap, and now like looking at them like, hey, look at me now. You want to say those things about me now? And I've been able to help other people who have been in that area of their life where they feel like a nobody find themselves. And I feel like our team is really full of women just like that, who never really had their place in this world, and now here they are on our team. And so my early time was weird. Like I was doing it, but I didn't really want to be doing it. I didn't want to tell anyone I was doing it. And I was doing it like all the wrong ways. If you go to my Instagram and you go all the way down to my first post, you can, if you want to laugh, I encourage you to go do that, because every single post has like 15 words on it, and there's like photo collages of 8 photos and posts about like bananas and like random things that I thought I was supposed to be talking about. And then it did take time for me to find myself and realize that, you know, I am what I need to be talking about, my journey, my story. But yeah, we all start off like trying to figure it out. We start off in the same place, and even like, you know, nobody knows what they're doing and they get started. So if you don't believe me, you can go all the way down to the end of my Instagram and have yourself probably a good 15-minute laugh about it. So.
But don't spend 15 minutes just looking at her Instagram, please. I am what I need to talk about. I love that, Carolyn. So what would you say, what are some of your habits, or we'll stick with habits. What are some of your habits that contribute to your success?
Well, I don't take no for an answer. When people tell me no, I say, okay, I'm going to go do that now. When people who I'm inviting tell me no, I don't take that as a no either, because the top leaders on our team and a lot of like really awesome people in my life are here because I didn't give up on them. And I didn't just accept their no from the beginning as, okay, well, I guess, you know, whatever. I don't like to lose. I like to, like, not that I want to be the best.
Are you a circle?
Yeah. It's not that I want to be the best. I just have always like wanted to be the best that I can be. And I don't ever want to like, at the end of the day, I don't want to look back on that day and say, wow, I could have done more. Like at the end of the day, I want to look back and say, I did everything I possibly could do to move my business forward. And if my coaches did everything I did today, then they moved their businesses forward, because this is a business where you have to lead from the front. And if you want your team to do things, like your team's only going to be as good as you are. So if you're not like learning and you're not continuing to grow and you're not learning from other coaches or just like doing your own research and figuring things out on your own, your team's not going to do that either. So I think that that is part of the reason why I am as successful as I am and why our team is as successful as we are. I mean, we're freaking young. It was so cool being at Summit with Connie on stage saying like, all right, if you're 29 and under, shout from the rooftops. And it was really quiet, but that was like my whole team yelling, because we are really young. Like I started when I was 22. I'm 26 now. All of the diamonds on our team are under 30 years old. So it's really cool for them to be able to see that, you know, this is an opportunity for everyone to succeed. No certain age, like there's no perfect coach. We can all be equally as successful in this. And I think I saw that early on when I was super young, 22 years old, at the first Success Club trip I went to. And I don't remember who it was, but it was this guy. He was like 40 something years old. And he was like, girl, you've got it made. You've got it set for life. You just like run with this. You're going to have an awesome life. You're going to help so many other people who are your age have that life too. And I've always ran with that, like that idea that I can, you know, change my life, but I can change other people's lives too. And yeah, I also don't take excuses. I'm a tough love kind of person. So give me an excuse, I'm going to tell you 15 other reasons why that's not an excuse. So
now I have a question for you in regards to this. I don't take no for an answer. When someone does tell you no, are you then like just re-inviting them? Okay, are you ready now? Or how does that work?
Well, the way that I kind of structure that, like I don't invite them like a week later. Obviously, I'm not annoying. I'm not here to like annoy people, but I do let them know, like, would it be okay for me to follow up with you at a later date? Or I'll say things if they're like, oh, I don't have the money right now. I relate to that, obviously, because I was in college. But I'm the kind of person that if I don't have the money, I charge it. So like I don't relate to that, and I charge it and I worry about it later. But not everybody's like that. So I relate to that situation, and I'll say something like, if I were to follow up with you in 3 weeks, would that give you enough time to get the money together so that you can join us? Because I know it is something that they want to do, but it's just really that one thing that's holding them back. And I offer them suggestions too. I'll say, you know, like when I was in that boat, I would just like stop going out to Starbucks, or, you know, I was just like making sure I wasn't spending money on things I didn't need. And I have 15 other mugs in my cabinet. I don't need to buy another one at TJ Maxx this week. So just different things that, you know, helping them see how it'll help them be able to do it. But I don't like message people every day. Like, okay, you ready now? You ready now? How about now? Are you ready now? I really like give them the time to get themselves together, and I tell them I'm going to be following up with them so they expect it. And a lot of times they'll reach back out to me sooner than when I was going to follow up with them, and they're like, all right, I'm ready now.
Love it. So what advice do you have for a brand new coach who doesn't know where to start? What can they do today in order to achieve long-term success?
Well, today you can just start thinking about those people that you want to help. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling. I think I accidentally deleted my notes while I was scrambling because it was on my computer, and I look and it was gone. So I don't have any notes in front of me right now.
Well, you're doing a fabulous job.
Yeah, new coaches. So you're at a really exciting point in your business right now, and it's like that moment you decide to go for it, don't stop. This business is something that the more consistent you are with it, the more you're going to see the payout of it. And honestly, the only way you can fail at this business is if you quit and if you give up. Like, there's no other way to fail at this business unless you decide that you're going to quit. So every single person here is capable of success, whether you just started today or you've been a coach for 3 years and now you're finally deciding to go for it. You know, you can still succeed at your business. It doesn't matter where you are or when you decide to go for it. But what matters is you decide to go for it, you're tenacious about it, and you don't quit, because that's the only way that you will fail, is if you give up on yourself. And as far as like what are some action steps that you can do, I would definitely do the things that are going to move your business forward. Don't worry about learning about everything. Don't worry about figuring out all the training. I'm sure your coaches have awesome trainings out there for you, and the back office has a lot of trainings for you. And I don't think that this is a business where it's important to do all the training before you go out there and like actually take action, because you're going to have analysis paralysis and you're going to be overthinking everything. And, oh, I can't invite anybody until I know all of the ways to invite people, or I can't talk to people until I know all the details about a challenge group. And you're limiting yourself, because the only way you can learn in this business is if you do the things, not like learning everything. And I don't think that knowledge is power. I think taking action is power. Having knowledge and doing nothing with it is just stupid. So don't do that. Go out there, fail forward, talk to people, and just use your passion and your excitement to help others see this amazing opportunity that they can be a part of. Because honestly, when I started, even though I signed up as a discount coach, I'll be honest, I hit Success Club every single month since I've been a coach, 47, 48 months or so, never missed. Even though I didn't want to do it, I still hit Success Club because I was so excited and passionate, and I was kind of sort of posting, not knowing what the hell I was doing. And I hit Emerald in my first month too, because I talked about the coach discount, and, you know, I just was excited, and that's what helped me. Like, passion is your best script. Don't worry about saying things perfectly. Just be yourself. And if you lose your notes, then you can come up with something else to say.
You keep going. So I heard a couple things. Knowledge is not power. It's what you do with the knowledge that's powerful. And then you mentioned one of the biggest habits that a new coach can do is don't quit in order to reach success. Well, what about the coach who is struggling and who is thinking about giving up? What advice do you have for them?
For the coach who is struggling, I want you to think about the life that you're living now. And if you're struggling and the life you're living now is absolutely 100% perfect and you wouldn't change a damn thing about it, then go ahead and quit. But I doubt that your life is 100% absolutely perfect. And I guarantee there's at least one thing you want to change, and know that this business can change that for you. And if you decide to give up on yourself, you're not just deciding to give up on you, you're deciding to give up on your family. If you don't have kids, your future family, your dog, your parents, like everyone that's important to you, your team, everyone in your life, you're not just giving up on you, you're giving up on them. So if you ever get to that point where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, this is hard. Of course it's hard. Anything that's worth doing is going to be hard. You know, nobody got to the top and said, well, that was easy. You know, I could do that again. But just think about, you know, you're sitting on a gold mine, you have this opportunity, and if you can turn to your family and say, you know what, I had this golden ticket, I was going to build this big business, I was going to help all of us out, but, you know, it was too hard and you're not worth it, so I'm going to quit. If you can say that, I don't think anybody could actually physically say that to somebody that they love, like, you weren't worth it, you know, it doesn't matter, I'm just going to give up. If you can say that, then I don't know, you're a very odd individual, and we probably, but if you can't bring that to yourself, like, I could not go in there and tell my husband, you know what, this is hard and I'm going to give up. I know, like, you had these goals, you want to own a gym someday, you have these goals, you know, you want to buy a house with me, but you know what, it's too hard, so whatever. Like, I couldn't go in there and tell him that. So we always say, go back to your why, go back to your why, but that's just another way to look at it, instead of just like, go back to your why, like, okay, I'm going back to my why, but try actually physically explaining that to the people who actually mean the most to you. And then you're gonna not want to quit, because you're not just quitting on you. It's impacting so many more people than just yourself.
Haven't heard that before, Carolyn. That's good. So what's been the best advice someone has given you regarding your business?
Well, it was actually advice from you. To be as patient as you are ambitious. And I think that patience is definitely something that you need to have in this business. And yeah, you'll see some people come in and crush their goals in like 2 months and hit diamond and hit all these star diamonds and stuff. And you're like, wow, how did they do that? Like, I must suck because I can't do that. And that's not true. There's a lot of coaches in this company who've been around for 10 years, who've built their businesses slow and strong. And the speed of the leader the speed of when you get to that goal doesn't matter. It's how you did it. And if you feel good about how you did it, there's a difference between hitting a goal really fast and hitting a goal and like really appreciating all the work that it took and feeling good about the actions that you took to get there, and not just like taking the easy way out and, you know, doing it an easier way, or trying to figure out what's the easiest way I can get to this goal the fastest. Like, it's not about getting there the fastest. It's about getting there in a way that feels right to you. And you're going to get there eventually. Everyone in this company is going to be a millionaire as long as you don't quit. Like, everybody here can earn $1 million with Beachbody as long as you don't go and quit. So it's totally 100% possible to be whatever it is you want to be, to get to wherever you want to go. And it just comes down to whether or not, you want it bad enough, and just being patient. Because if you're impatient, can kind of like kill your momentum and can kill your vibe. You're like, oh my God, I've been inviting people for 2 months and I'm not a diamond yet, but like, it's only been 2 months. Like, 2 months is not a long time as an entrepreneur. 4 years isn't a long time as an entrepreneur. And technically I've only been really consistently working for 3 of those 4 years. So it's not even about how long you've been a coach. It's how long have you been consistent as a coach. I mean, there's some coaches who've been coaches for a year who are further than coaches who've been here for 3 years, but that's because they've been consistent for that year. Maybe those 3 years that the other person's been a coach, they've really only been consistent for about 6 months of that time. So the time that you've been around doesn't necessarily like indicate the level of success or where you need to be based on how long you've been there. It's not like, you make X amount because you're been here for 5 years, so you make this amount. It's really depending on what you do at that time that you've been around. So just being patient and being ambitious and giving it your all every single day, and just stop looking around. I know it's hard to say because I do that sometimes too, and I'm looking around to other teams like, oh, like, what are they doing? But honestly, when I go back to like thinking about when we've had the most growth in our business is when I was like, honestly, not even looking at anybody else and just looking at our team and working with the leaders on your team and figuring out what you guys want to do together as a team, and help everybody else. Like, celebrate everybody else too along the way. But like, at the end of the day, you want to get to a certain level as a leader and with your team. It's not about the other people right now. It's really about you and what it is you guys want to do together as a team. So it's great to congratulate other leaders and like cheer them on and like use that as motivation, but don't use it to make you feel like shit, honestly. It's not worth it. It's not going to help you.
Love it. And the cool thing about achieving success in this business is that it is based on each individual's diligence and skill and effort. And that's the really cool part. So we are at the speed round. So these are going to be quicker answers, Carolyn. First question, on average, how much time do you spend working your business every day?
Like 4 to 6, not including one-on-one calls and stuff. Now.
Okay. What about when you were a teacher?
Definitely not that much. Whatever is the time I had in the day. But I will say I did wake up earlier. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning to get my workout done because I knew if I didn't, I wouldn't have as much time when I came home from work to work on my business. So probably more like 2 hours collectively throughout the day and like random parts. But I loved what I did, so I just couldn't stop sometimes.
What is your average success club each month?
It's typically anywhere from like 30 to 45-ish.
Wow. What percentage of time do you focus on your personal business versus your team?
80% mine, 20% theirs, because I know that, in order to be a leader, you got to work on your business first. You got to fill your cup first. And the best thing you can do is be an example for your coaches, and you can't hold their hand the whole way, especially when your team gets bigger. But I would say 80-20 is about a good split.
80-20. We've heard that rule before. How many coaches do you enroll each month?
Anywhere between 8 to 12. This month has been a little bit higher just because of the Lift launch and everyone wanting to work out with Joel in the group. So 8 to 12.
What about when you were teaching?
That was so long ago. I don't really know. I can say, though, it took me 6 months to find a rock star, so don't give up. 6 months.
Love it. That's good advice. All right, this is our last question. Now, this is our random hack question. I have pre-selected this question. Carolyn, this has nothing to do with business, just FYI. If you were stranded on an island by yourself, what are the 3 things that need to be with you for your survival?
Oh my gosh, my dog. I guess I should say my husband if I said my dog. And food, tacos maybe. I don't know. Something to eat.
Tacos. That's funny. Well, Carolyn, that is the end of our mini series this week for What It Takes.
Kidding.
That's all you need is Shakeology. You can live on that forever. Carolyn, thank you so much for joining us for What It Takes. Guys, Beachbody Champions, hopefully this was a great conversation with Carolyn. She's a huge inspiration. 26 years old, started 4 years ago at 22, and she and her team sweat your heart out, are really doing great things and changing lives. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Carolyn, thank you again for being so awesome.